What is up, everybody? My name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to charge more than everybody else. And of course, you know how to bring you guys people that charge more than everybody else. Cody and Aaron, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Damn right.
We kind of take pride in the fact that we charge more than everyone else, pretty much in every aspect of the, of the way
How are you
things
going to
go.
walk the walk if you don't? How are you going to talk the talk if you don't walk the walk, man? You know what I mean? Like if you believe it, we can't. We can't be over here charging $199. We can't be the $99 guy. If I'm gonna sit here and talk about high ticket, right? What's up, Dewey? What's up, guys in the comments? Y'all doing all right? Joe Dirt.
Let's give a shout out to everybody. Yeah, but in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to charge more than everybody else. Yeah, Dewey's in the comments as always. Dewey's first. Maddie's here. George Yost is here. Joe Dirt is here. We got Kevin Hawthorne in the building. William is here. Old Cody, Justin, and AP the trio. All right, sweet. So you guys know that Washcon is coming up. We can't talk about selling if we don't talk about Washcon, right? And at Washcon, we're gonna talk a lot about selling. We're gonna talk a lot about a bunch of other good things that'll grow your business. I'm gonna pull up the page. Cody, you want to tell them a little bit about what's going on?
Yep. So, fourth or fifth big event for me and Aaron, second annual Washcon. And we've got this dialed in, guys, at this point. So, talk to a guy on the phone today. If you're getting into the business and you want to learn not only the technical side, but all the other pieces that go with that, that's what Washcon is for. So, we're getting some final touches knocked out in the next couple of weeks. Got the catering lined up this week. So, for the regular tickets on Friday, VIP ticket is Friday and Saturday, so we'll be eating pretty good on Saturday. Got kind of a nice place coming to bring us some food. But we go through a ton of information. So if you're just coming for the regular ticket, you better have an empty brain and a good number 2 pencil and a notepad because it's going to be a long day, but it's going to be a lot of info. All the nuts and bolts on my side of washing, chems. Me and Michael tag team some technical stuff together, chemical stuff, equipment stuff. The point of it is not to drag you across a lot of equipment, even though we will be in the shop. We'll have tons of stuff there, but we can use the equipment to look at, to kind of example off of as to sort of what works and what doesn't, what's needed and what's not. And then these other two clowns on here, they're going to talk a lot about the marketing side of the house, which is not my forte. I know enough to be dangerous, right? But that's why I partner with people that are experts in Justin, specifically social media guy, and Aaron down here is your Google guru guy, website guy, GMB, all that good stuff. So if all that is kind of foreign to you, that's probably why you need to come. And I used to be a little more humble about saying that, but not anymore. It's just better to be honest with you guys. If you don't come, you'll figure this out on your own. You're going to probably cost yourself about $200,000 in lost revenue, figuring it out over a season or maybe 2 seasons. And then after that, we even know guys that are in their 6th and 7th season that are still not doing things, as dialed in as they could be. So take it from us. We are literally subject matter experts in each of these pockets of the business. And if you got all 4 of those things, systems with Mike, social media, website stuff, and equipment and training on how to use it, then you got all the puzzle pieces. You can go forth and I ordain you knights of the realm. Go spray that yam, baby.
That's right. That's right. We got guys coming to this event that have literally made like $500,000 in their business. Like,
yeah.
Coming again, right? They're bringing employees, they're bringing other people that they know because they've come to other events and they really like what we did with them. So it's going to be a lot of fun. 24 days left. Don't miss it. We get standard tickets. I'm not sure if we have any VIP tickets left. If it allows you to purchase on the website, I guess there's still some left. We really got to take early bird off because I think that deal's gone.
Yeah, there may be just 1 or 2 VIPs. I'm not sure if there are any at all. So
me neither. Mike was keeping up with that. So if you want to come meet us, hang out with us, and spend some time and learn a few things, yeah, man, jump in and get your tickets. It'll be first link in the comment section and the description. Cody said you could learn these things over the course of the lifetime of your business, but I would venture to say some of these things that you won't learn, right?
Like, yeah, you won't learn all of these things. Like you'll trip through some of it, over the course of time. But some of the stuff, like there's no way you would ever figure it out. And I relate it to the gun. I'm trying to get a magazine out, so can't show a gun on YouTube probably don't even need to say that word again, but that's a thing that goes with it, right? So same thing in this world. If you're talking about shooting and you wanted to get better at shooting and stuff, you could buy a pallet of ammo and, spend like 92 Saturdays in a row and you'd be pretty good, but there'd still be some stuff that you would just not know because you're not exposed to that technique. It could be just something simple, but we're going to take years and years of going to the range and condense it down into a 1 or 2 day, depending on what ticket you get.
Absolutely. Not to mention all the time that we put in. I know I put in so much time in testing. I've spent thousands and tens of thousands of dollars testing ads and stuff like that. And I know Aaron spent countless nights figuring out how Google ticks, right, Aaron?
Sleepless
Some
nights.
of us still don't know how Google ticks.
Sleepless months. Yeah, I think the whole Google landscape for a lot of guys is if they don't come to an event like this, they may try to kind of dabble, right? They'll try to figure it out because now they're aware because they watch all of our videos and stuff. But the fact of it is, like, back to what Cody was saying is, if you're say you're brand new to guns and you just bought you a pistol, you took whatever the pawn shop guy told you should buy, and you're going into a situation where you need to clear a building, you have a hostage situation, that would be your business, right? Your business. It's like throwing you into the lion's den, the most expert SWAT situation, but you just bought it from the pawn shop yesterday, right? So I want to show you this juxtaposition. The equivalent would be, when it comes to guns and when it comes to stuff like that and clearing buildings, there's a lot of things that are beyond just the shooting portion of knowing guns and even loading the weapon and racking it. You think how many things you had to learn the night before because you have a hostage situation tomorrow that you got to that someone has told you is going to happen, aka your business. When it pertains to body position, when it pertains to how you enter the building, where you should enter the building, how to clear a room, like all of these things. And this is like super advanced SWAT level stuff. And you just bought your gun yesterday. So that is the equivalent to me of running your business, right? We're not giving you a bunch of bullet points and things to do. It's a foundation, really. It's almost like we're going to teach you the body positioning. We're going to tell you when you go in, this is to the side you go to. This is how you avoid getting killed. This is how you avoid, AKA an insurance claim, AKA wasting 8 months, not doing the right things with your website, right? A lot of these things, a guy is not going to incur costs, say insurance claims, right? He can be real careful, right? And maybe get one over the course of a while, but all of the revenue he didn't know he missed out on,
right,
is the scary portion, right? It's all of the things behind the other door that you can't see, that you didn't even know existed, are going to be made aware to you at this event. So I think that's one of the big hangups with some guys. We have like guys like Dewey Atchison, Mike Turman, Elijah crushed his business this past year. He's coming back. Mike Turman's coming back. Ben Wilson came last year. He's crushing his 3-day-a-week schedule. Ben will make $5,000 every day he works by himself. And really what it is such I like to claim this. It's a lean and mean framework of how to be very potent quickly, how to be very potent and profitable financially quickly. That's the idea. The idea isn't to give you, like I said, a bunch of bullet points and, oh, well, you need a website. No shit. Right? Like, we're going to be going into the nuts and bolts and actionable steps that you can take to crush the website game, to crush your social media marketing game, to really be compliant and everything that Cody teaches, and your automation with Mike and how to run that business. And frankly, how he runs his business every single day from his office. Like, to sit down with a guy like that who's been doing it for 25 years, don't you think that Mike had a chance for the first 10 years? Like, he was doing stuff that was a waste of time that now he's like, oh, bro, you're going to waste your time with that. Don't do that. Don't do that at all. I wasted 3 years doing that. Don't do it. It's a waste of money. Like all of these little roadblocks and pitfalls that are so unassuming. And yeah, can you trip through it? Can you fall into the pit and waste the money? Sure. If that's your thing, look, if you want to call that the school of hard knocks, I call it the school of hard dumb. Like if that's what you want to do, then do that. But that's what Washcon is going to teach you. It's going to give you kind of that framework to go be profitable. And hey, man, if we do a good job, you might be like some of these other guys and coming back even next year as well. So I think it's going to be fun.
Absolutely. And then one thing I want to say that separates like the top people from like kind of the bottom to middle tier is it seems like a land grab for some of these people. Like a lot of the guys that came last year almost didn't even need to come. Like Ben Wilson was doing probably a couple $100,000 in his business every year, still came to WashCon. A couple other people that we had in the inner circle that were absolutely crushing it still came to WashCon because it's like a land grab for them. They want all the information. They want all the resources. They want all the connections. They want to talk with all the people that are doing all the money. And so that way they can consume it, they can take it in, and they can become that. And that is the difference between the people that really rise to the top and then the ones that kind of just like, I don't need hell, I'm gonna figure it out. I don't need to come to that. Like there's a big discrepancy between those two types of people. So
Justin's impression, I feel like did I pioneer that voice? And you you've taken it on, bro, and you're crushing.
Yeah.
That's like a family member of mine. You have no idea. That is literally my second cousin who you are embodying with that voice.
but it's just like speaks to that kind of person with that closed-minded mentality of like, oh, they ain't gonna teach me nothing I can't learn on my own. I done forgot more stuff than they can teach me. I love that saying. I forgot more stuff than they can teach me.
Well, even now, man, we had WashCon last year, and I taught I taught some sales stuff, and then I taught some Google stuff, and we've even had guys like go and take my Google stuff and start a business with it. I'm like, bro, you can't do that, dude. Like,
right. That's how good it was, right? I mean, it's almost like
I'd say that's a testament. I'd say that's a testament that it works.
Right. Yep. And then it teaches if it were their own.
It happens in all industries because it's guys will eventually go to a gun class, a weekend where they're dropping $3,000 traveling, and it's like a legit instructor, nationwide instructor, and then they copy and paste, and they a year later they're an instructor, and it's like it's America, you can do whatever you want to do, but it's kind of like you remember who Daddy was too, don't you?
That's right. That's right. You got to remember that. Now, if you're switching things up, if you're doing things your own way, maybe it's a little bit different. We all take inspiration.
That's right.
But anyway, the topic of today's video is how to charge more than everybody else and how to get away with it and how to thrive in a market when you're doing that. So, Cody, I'm going to let you lead it off because you shared a video with all of us. It was really good. So if you kind of want to kind of break it down and we'll just riff off.
Yeah, and so we see this a lot in guys that are running a truck and they're out there saying, I can't charge anymore because the market won't sustain it. Like nobody here will pay that. And we see that a lot. There was a particular guy that commented that and we screenshot it. I can't remember his name, but it was irrelevant. I just wanted to remember the topic. So that's a common thread and it's in every business. It's all over the place. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. Yes, you have competition. And yes, if your pricing is hitting the demographic that can only afford that much, then yeah, you kind of have found the ceiling. But what we're going to challenge you to do, because I know it to be the truth, is there's more money there and there's more customers. You're just lacking imagination in how you present it. So I've got an example. If you think that you can't charge more than $150, for a house wash or some, whatever the number is, some measly number. Here's a good example for you. All right. We like these cookies. These come from Walmart. They're cheap. I don't care about them being necessarily cheap, but they're like the soft batch cookies. And there's 52 of them in here. You can see the boys have already ate a good many, but they're $5 for 52 cookies. So that comes out to 0.96 of a cent. So it's less than a penny per cookie. And here's what we could do. We could take one of these cookies and we could take maybe 3 of these, right? And we could put them in a little Ziploc bag and we could go and maybe go to an event somewhere and we could sell that Ziploc bag. I want to get you guys to tell me, do you think we could get $3 for 3 of those in a Ziploc bag? What do you think?
I think so.
I think so. I think you can at least get $1. I do want to say one thing about the cookies. How do they make all those cookies look exactly the same? I've made
Bro,
cookies before, and they all look different.
these are Walmart non-playable character cookies, dude. These ain't real.
It's a Ricky C cookie.
Metaverse cookies. You know these ain't real. This is like a McNugget.
Play-Doh.
But they are pretty good. And so we're in it for a penny, right? We're in it for a penny. And we could sell this cookie, no doubt, easy for $1. You could probably get more than that, but we'll just stop at $1 because I think we would all agree that that's worth $1 to somebody if it's packaged. You put 3 of them together, 3's about right. Like that's about as many as a dad needs to eat. So you put 3 of them in a Ziploc bag, and what did you do? You just 100x'd, right? Or if you got a penny, you got 3 cents in it, and you're getting $1 a piece for them. That's a pretty good return on investment. But somebody could say, well, it's only worth. Why would anybody buy that? Because they can just go to Walmart and get the big pack for $5, right? Well, no, duh. That's the same reason that you go in a gas station and you get a 20-ounce drink. And how much is a 20-ounce drink? It's a lot. It's $1.50 now, I guess, $1.50. But a 2-liter in the same store is cheaper. Emily's sitting right here. She just went grocery shopping today. How much you spend a day at the grocery store?
The 2 liters about $1.68.
Right. So it's 2 liters for the same basic price versus a 20-ounce. What is the customer actually paying for? They're paying not for the house wash. Okay. That's only one piece of the thing that they're paying for. They're not paying for the driveway to be clean. They're paying for it. I'm going to throw out some things that I think that they're paying for. And if you're not able to close at that higher ticket value, there's an AP term, but if you're not able to get that, it is a lack of you and your imagination of packaging your services, of confidence in the pitch, and the ability to understand what you're offering is worth that much money, right? So my house is not nothing crazy. It's a nice house, but it's not like a mansion or anything. I would pay, because I'm thinking about just getting one of my local guys that has a rig to come do it. And I hope they don't watch this video, but they could charge me if they had a 7 in it. If it went past $700, I'd probably like, nah, I just do it myself. But anything below that, which is to wash this house, probably an hour job. It's pretty easy. I've done it a bunch of times. So, but here's what I also know. There's a ton of little dudes around here that would come over here and price this thing at like $199. And they would think that they were doing something. And $199 for 2 hours of work is, if you think about it in that mentality, it sounds good. But look at what they left on the table. They left $500 on the table. I would rather pay one of my 2 or 3 local dudes that I trust that bought rigs from me $700 because I know they're not going to roast my TV on the back porch back here. They're not going to mess up my patio furniture. They're not going to spray bleach in an outlet. They're not going to drop a ladder on one of my vehicles, right? They're Alyssa's stupid German Shepherds back there, and they're not going to like mess with the dog. I can trust them on the property. So here's what the customer's paying for. They're paying for the results, okay? That should go without saying. Aaron has preached this high ticket stuff, and he gets guys that'll challenge him like that you're not going to do a good job. The reason he never mentions that is because we just figured y'all knew that. Like that's just, you have to do a good job. So the customer should get the result. Duh. That's baked into the process. But they're paying for the convenience and they're paying for the experience. All right. The convenience of that they didn't have to fool with it, and the experience. Now, there's not much experience we can offer them, but what Mike teaches, Mike's systems, and Justin, you can kind of elaborate on this, but the way that Mike inbounds a customer all the way to them paying is an easy, seamless Amazon type experience on purpose. It's calculated on purpose because today's buyer, the kind of people he's targeting, they're busy, they're professionals, they're both working, right? And they ain't got a lot of time. And so we had a guy on Facebook the other day was turning down a job or something because the homeowner couldn't be there to pay him when he got done. It was something to that effect. It was like, dude, what are you doing? Just send them a QuickBooks invoice. That's part of the experience that the customer is willing to pay for because it's seamless and it gets the job done and it's smooth and nobody really cares as long as you're targeting the right people. So that 1 penny cookie, okay, whatever amount of bleach, soap, and gasoline in the pressure washer, we're going to take that little investment and we're going to 100x that into a house wash, a roof cleaning, a driveway cleaning, whatever it is. Could be a specialty chem job, right? If it's degreaser and you get some dynamite degreaser and you clean it, okay, that needs to be pretty expensive But if you're just charging them the value of the cookie, how much is a dozen eggs worth right now? A lot. It's not if you got a chicken. It's the same price as it always was, right? But nobody's going to go buy chickens and put them out back. They're just going to keep paying for the eggs and complaining on Facebook. So what we're going to do is challenge you guys to find your cookies and mark them up. Use your imagination of how that you can package that cookie. How can you package that thing and present it to the client in a way that they see the value, they see the convenience, they get the experience, and they walk away feeling happy and they call you again next year.
Right. Because if Cody was selling the cookies, right, he could sell them for $3 for a pack of 3. And he's not the only one selling cookies. There's other people selling cookies too. So same lines, pressure washing. You guys offer a service. You're not the only one offering the service, but you can price it higher. I do want to speak a little bit to Mike's process with the Amazon process. One thing that I've noticed with clients off of Google is it's all about speed. If I call somebody that calls in off of Google like a few hours later, I've had this happen already 4 or 5 times. They go, "Oh, no thanks, we already found somebody." They don't even want to hear my price anymore. They're just like, "Oh, no thanks, we already found somebody." So it just kind of speaks to the fact that if you're fast, typically people will go with the first quote that they get. They don't even want to hear my quote. My quote might have been $200 less. Doesn't matter because it's all about speed. They got somebody that looked up, they're ready to roll.
Let's talk about positioning. All right. So for the cookies, I'm going to give you guys a few things. I love parlaying off the cookie. That's a good thing. So I wrote some things down here. So 3 for $3, right? That's not a bad deal. That's not Disney World prices, right? Disney World will be like, that's a $10 bill right there. So let's think about this. Who is selling the cookies? What do they look like? What do they act like? What do they walk like? What do they talk like? This matters. Do they look professional? Do they look like the avatar that the customer would buy from? And I'm talking to you about your business, right? Let's relate it to cookies, but we're talking about pressure washing, okay? So I wrote some things down here. Cody, would you buy 3 cookies for $3 off of that crackhead that we met in Roanoke?
You mean he's just got them on his hand like that?
Yeah. He ain't got no bag because we know what the bag's for. But like, so he's got them in his hand. He says, "Hey man, would you give me $3 for these 3 cookies?"
Nope.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Now, okay. And he probably met you in a parking lot, right? Okay. Wrong
Came
environment.
up behind you right while you're pumping your gas.
Startled me in a weird environment. Okay. And raggedy clothes, right? Tough situation. He got 3 cookies in his
Hands haven't
hand
been washed in a long
for
time.
$3. Now Cody's got $3. He spends I don't know how much money on
A lot.
booze, okay?
A lot.
So he's got 3 laying in the change jar, right? And he likes chocolate chip cookies. That's your
Love the
customer.
hell
They
out of it.
like their house being cleaned, okay? So who is this person who is selling it with the offer? What do you look like? What do you smell like? What do you talk like? What do you walk like? Do you talk with certainty? Right? Okay. Now, what if, Cody, different scenario, okay? Outside of the church, all right, different environment. A little girl in a cute little dress walks up to you and says, "Would you like to buy some cookies? They're $3." What are you going to do? I know what you're going to do. You're going to take out a 5 and just say, "Here you go, darling. I don't need cookies. Hey, I'll take them. Thank you, baby. You're sweet." All right. Different environment, different individual, different positioning. Who sells cookies? We know, hey, look, the Girl Scouts sell cookies, bud. Cookie selling is a girl game.
Yep.
Okay. And the positioning was perfect. Okay. Now, so that's the person. That's the positioning on the human selling it. Is this individual credible? When you're selling cookies, are you cute? Okay.
I know
Now
where you're going with this, and I love it. But let me see if I can guess your website.
I'm going to jump into
It's janky, right? If it looks janky, your social media, Justin. If it's janky, it does not trigger me to have any. If you pull up in your truck, looks like, now we all have crappy truck at some point. But keep going, Aaron. This is a great topic, man.
Well, I'm gonna dive off right here real quick and come back. It's true because think about the customer, right? Who is really cheap, who wants the the crackhead cookies right there. Like, I ain't even gonna eat them. I just want it cheap, right? Like, I just want the $99 deal. There's people out there like that.
Mhm.
They called you because your website was crappy. They said, he ain't the guy. He's my guy, right? You attracted the
Mhm.
crackhead customer, not, you know what I'm saying, the cheap customer
Mhm.
into your life by your marketing and your positioning being crap. You're wondering, you're like, well, I got a website. Yeah, it looks like 1993.
Yep.
Okay. So let's jump into, now that's my person. All right. Now let's talk about the hunger of the market, the pain point, the bloodbath. How bad do they need it? All right. Do you think that little girl, Cody, if we took her, as sweet as she is, in her little Sunday dress, and we took those same cookies, 3 for $3, to the eating competition, walked her up on stage while they're eating, and said, hey, would you buy these cookies 3 for $3? What's she going to get? Nah,
Mm-mm.
I'm eating a pile of spaghetti. Can you get out of here? I feel terrible. All right. But if you take that little girl and put her at the end of a marathon, okay, who runs marathons? Only people with extra time and money. Okay, we already know you're 55 years old. You ain't got nothing to do. You also got a $5,000 bike at the house with spandex. All right, we know what you are. All right, put her at the end of the marathon, 3 for $3. She hits the right customer. They're hungry right when they cross the line. She says, hey, you want to buy these? Here's $50, darling. Thank you, baby. He's going to pay anything you ask him to pay because he's hungry. He's got it. You've positioned the little girl, right? Which is technically you in your business, right? I know girls sell cookies. That's why I'm going with the little girl situation. You have to think about the visuals.
It's totally that, dude.
That are going into this attraction of the right customer where you can demand the high ticket price. There's a lot beyond just walking in and saying, hey, this is the price.
That's what they see. And that's why when these guys hear us with these, you know, we'll do a video, but Justin, you can see how long guys watch your video. You'll do a 7-minute video and break this down. They'll watch 2 minutes and then you get down in the comments and say, well, that will never work. Dude, it works every day, but you didn't get far enough in. You didn't come to the event, so you didn't learn. Bro, popcorn's freaking nothing, but they make millions at the theater because the time is right. They put it in the glass. They got the thing back there with the smell, and it's just, man.
The little butter squirter, dude. You know what I mean?
But no, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's all around you.
They ain't opening a packet of butter, okay?
Good marketing is hard to see like that. Good branding and positioning, like he's talking about, it's the reason you can't see this because these companies are good at it. I'm using a Apple MacBook Pro. Why? Because I got an iPhone. Why? Because they convinced me it was a superior product. Is it? Nah, probably not. But that's what they did. That's what they did. And if they're good at it, then they take a big piece of market share. I was thinking about this morning. We're getting ready to do this video. We use the word market. Let's imagine we get in the DeLorean and we go to, you know, some little seaside town in the Mediterranean, and we got the picture. You picture the old marketplace, like where Jesus's day, there's actually a market, right? There's a harbor, people got fish, people selling baskets, whatever they sold back then, just whatever they're doing. So they got dudes selling things, right? That's your marketplace. Today it's evolved to where it's a digital space. It's an online situation. It's retail. There are brick and mortar, but it's different, right? But if you were at the old time market 3,000 years ago and your booth looked like hell and you had some rotten fish and you were trying to sell it in the dead of summer, it's like probably not going to make any sales. But if you dress that thing up, if you present it at the right time to the right people, you're also going to get, if you present to the wrong people, you track the wrong customer, like Aaron's talking, your complaint level is through the roof because those people can't afford to even be at the market, no way. But they're there and they're going to buy things from you because you're the cheapest person out there. And if that's your angle, that's your way of getting revenue, you're going to attract the wrong type of people. And those are not people that are ever satisfied with anything. Whereas the dude that's running the marathon, that's got an 897 credit score in his spandex, he'll buy the cookies. Now you can upsell him a Gatorade because he's thirsty. You can triple your money, and he's going to forget about it instantly because he's moved on to the next thing.
Right. So, Aaron, you're kind of speaking on the starving crowd principle, huh? I
Absolutely.
think that's
That's
like a Gary
but I
Halbert.
think the starving crowd principle only works if you position yourself properly first. You know, like you said, if a crackhead walked up at the marathon, was like, "Hey man, hey," like he walks across and Boston Marathon, people are running across the finish line as we speak. Crackhead moseys over. I got some cookies. Y'all want these cookies? He's hollering and stuff. People be like, "What?" And they'd run around him. So you have to have the positioning right on the front end, and this whole thing looks seamless. Okay, it doesn't even look like anything happened, but money has been transferred. The best marketing, you can't even feel it. It's just an inclination. The customer comes to their own conclusion of their own accord. They don't even know they've been sold. That's the best selling and the best marketing. And I think I'm going to jump back to Cody's soft wash example. Okay. Now I'm going to give kudos to the guy who has the balls to go to Cody's house and price soft washing. 'Cause, hey man, my name's Cody Yarbrough. Can you come soft wash my house? Can y'all imagine that? Put that in the comments if you can imagine getting that call. You're like, is this a television show? Am I being punked? Like, But say for this example, Cody's got the money. He's got the money for $750. I wrote that down. He's got the money and he would pay it. Even as a guy who owns a soft wash equipment company, just to not do it himself. That should be the biggest takeaway of this call. He would pay that. Now there's a guy, say the guy's got money, but he doesn't own a soft wash company and he's never touched a pressure washer. He's got a 3-story house and he's got a Ryobi, little one that he just had the ambition to buy at Home Depot one day and it's never been used and it's sitting in this thing. I bet I could hit him for 900, 1,000. Quick.
Oh, I know you can because I've done like 7 houses in this neighborhood and they were all around $1,000.
And you're in the middle of nowhere, basically.
Yeah.
Like it's desolate Alabama, right? And so guys who talk about rural pricing and rural problems and it's like, no. It's a positioning thing, right? And so do you think you could sell that in Roanoke, Cody, to some of those areas that we drive around in? Right?
No.
The poor areas. You think you can sell? No, they're never going to pay $750. They're never going to pay $500, regardless, because they just don't have it. It's going to meth. Okay. I'm buying the meth. I'm not buying the pressure washing.
Yep.
All right. So it's really a lot of guys, like we talk about high ticket pricing, and I hit on this and how to get your pricing up a lot. But a lot of it is finding the right people. So about what if you have an area that is like Nashville or like a city, right? You got people who have money there, but I want to talk to the guys in the chat right now who are in more rural areas who could come up with an excuse, right? Even though you've sold $1,000 houses in your little rural area. Okay. What about you got to find the places, the pockets of money, but the second best, actually, it could be first best too, is corporate environments, places that have to be cleaned, like apartment complexes. They have to be cleaned. The tenants will leave if the place looks too nasty. Now, some of them will push it to the nth degree before they get it cleaned. I've seen it, just spider webs everywhere. But bet your bottom dollar that place is going to have it cleaned sometime. And why aren't you in the file?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you in the runnings for that? The second or the third best place are liability costs, like slippery spots on like fast food spots, like grease areas, right? If they have somebody trip on that, dude, the suing alone, the lawsuit alone costs more than the $3,000 to $4,000 it costs you or they pay you to come clean it. Okay, so we leverage the pain against the need, and then they're going to give us the money. Okay, so
I want to ask Cody a question. Cody, you are someone's ideal customer, right? Because you have more money than time, and washing the house is something that you really don't want to do. And so, like you said, you'd part with under $700 for somebody to come soft wash the house. When was the last time you got a flyer? You had someone come door knock you. you saw a Facebook ad, you saw a sign, you know, on the side of the road that said pressure washing. Like,
Well, I
people
do
want to talk
see a
about,
few signs. I do see a few signs and a couple ads because there's a couple of my local guys that are in our world, like they follow all the channels and so. But if you leave
right,
Roanoke and you get out, that it's non-existent. It's very sporadic, very far and few between, and that's we do live in the middle of literally in the middle of nowhere here. We're an hour from any major. Auburn, Alabama is an hour south. LaGrange, Georgia's 40 minutes east. Noonan, Georgia is a good market. That's an hour away. But the way that we made 200,000 plus on a wash truck is we were not afraid to drive an hour. And I would encourage you guys because I know pretty much there ain't many people in the country that are not within an hour of something that has a population center. So if you're out in rural, you're a little bit out in the country, it's going to be a little bit challenging. But dude, I couldn't tell you the days that we get up an hour ahead of the time we would have been working and we just drive over there. We go take all their money, then we just drive back home. It's not that. The good thing is what we do is not very hard. It's not physically, you're not exhausted at the end of the day. So what's an hour? Drive back to the house if you have to do that. And you get your local stuff, and then you're going to expand your concentric circle out. So your radius just might have to be bigger. Whereas Ben Wilson, he doesn't have to leave, he can draw a little bitty circle around and then he's got all the work he can stand. If you live a little bit out in a different area, just expand your radius a little bit. It's not the end of the world. It's definitely doable.
right. So one of the reasons why I asked that is because guys always talk about how oversaturated everything is, first and foremost. And secondly, how many ad exposures it takes for somebody to actually turn into a customer. So, if you saw a guy really hustling it, if he was all over the place, if he was showing up at the house, if he was like, Cody, let me give you a quote, or I didn't know you lived here, but I'm doing pressure washing, you'd probably let him do a quote, but you don't have anybody beating down your door. So there's just so much opportunity out there, and kind of backwards engineering how you can charge more, find out who your ideal customer is. Cody's an ideal customer for somebody, and get in front of those people as much as possible. Right. So we talked about positioning. We talked about a couple of other things, a couple of other facets. Is there any other pieces to this charging more puzzle that we need to kind of talk about? What about massaging? I think in the way that the question was asked, like, yes, the hobo might look, run down and stuff. Obviously, that's a reason why you wouldn't want to buy. But the phrasing of how he asked the question of like, hey, you want to buy these cookies? And the little girl has a softer tone. I think even within your ad copy, even within the way that you communicate yourself through social media, there's a lot to be said there with regards to massaging and coming off in the right fashion. So, Aaron, do you want to speak to that a little bit? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
difference between the two in the tonality and the presentation and everything.
so for me, I think it's a personality thing, and you can find where your personality lands as far as how you can be the most credible. Certainty always wins the day. Okay, so if you're selling certainty, being certain about your product, certain about the benefits, and non-argumentative and very abundant. Okay, those are the two top things, because I've had people tell me I'm too expensive, and then I go, okay, and can I help you with anything else? And they go, no, and then they call me back 2 hours later and want a book, right? Because they found out that they felt the credibility over the phone. They also felt the abundance, right? That I didn't care if they left. I think that plays such a huge role in the energy of the selling, right? And demanding high ticket prices, because someone wants to trust the guy who's going to be doing this. And if they're going to pay, more than another bid, do I trust him more to give me the value and give me a better job at my house? And I've always found that more often than not, and I'm talking probably 60% of the time, because the other 40 I can't help, but 60% of the time, the credible, how do I say this, being certain in your words and walking as if you are the guy who is, envision this, you're the guy who is getting a crew together and we're going to go to the moon. You're the dude driving the rocket. Okay. If rockets were driven, you would be driving the rocket. That's how you have to speak. Okay. You have to speak in that manner, that I'm the one driving the rocket. I know that this is your property, but you are not privy. And this is not things I tell them, but this is things I know. You're not privy to everything going on the side of your house. You're not privy to the pressures and soft washing and pressure washing and the fact that I can't put too much pressure too close on the vinyl. Otherwise, I'm going to remove the oxidizing on there and I'm going to have to come back and then you're going to be pissed, right? These are all things that people don't value in our world of just blue collar contractor. They don't value it. They don't value the fact that they're not going to destroy someone's property. And I'm going to tell you guys in the chat, this alone, like the fact that you are aware at how to not destroy things is worth high ticket alone. Okay. Getting the job done with no hiccups every single time is worth paying the money, because if you've ever had to replace just one Pella window, it's way more than they're paying you to clean the whole joint. So walking with certainty, I think, is kind of the final thing. And guys will probably relate that back to my channel. I've just always found that being clear, concise, and abundant, like I'll tell guys on the channel, I don't even care if they unsubscribe, like do it, whatever. Like, wait, you know, if you think you're taking something away from me, you're playing yourself. Okay. Because at the end of the day, I'm abundant. And at the end of the day, I know there's another bus coming. There's another job coming. And when you walk that way, people buy from you.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
I just pulled up the chat over here. It's kind of funny because I was thinking about something that segues into that, but there's some guy in here, Brother Boldly, servant of Yeshua, Jesus of Nazareth. And he's did like 87 comments right here in the chat. So guys, go over there and check that out. But I was going to bring that point up anyway. What are you doing with your life, dude? Like we see so many guys and it's just Jesus, Lord, and God in heaven, soft washing. Like, stop it. Just, you're not branding. Are you opening a ministry or are you opening a business? Is it Ricky's pressure wash? You know, like think about I'm a big church guy. I've got a little bitty logo made into my hat. I don't have a logo handy, but there's a little cross made into the logo. And I've had people at church tell me, man, you've got such a big platform on YouTube. You need to be on there. Don't worry about what I need to be doing. Because here's what I could do is scuttle the message of that channel. The message of Southeast Soft Wash is business. We're here to make money. We're going to try to do it the best way we can. And we're not going to not show our values, but that's not the point of the channel. The point of your business is not to get everybody in the world saved and on the way to heaven. All right. You do that on the other time as you see those opportunities, if that's what you feel like you need to do, but you're not putting business first. And then you fail. Oh, I don't know why I failed. Well, because your company's named 86 things that ain't got nothing to do with soft washing. It doesn't position itself well to the customer. All right. This is business. We're trying to stay sustainable. Okay. One of my local guys, he goes to church with us. We just saw him yesterday, Sunday. We're at church together. Great name, Legacy Soft Wash. Love it. It's a good name. Good solid name. Legacy Soft Wash. And he's got like a little fish, logo in there. It's fine. But I see that so much, especially with the rural guy. I can't say the word rural guys. It's like they overemphasize the fact that they're born again. That's not the place to do that. Put it in its rightful place. But if you're struggling, it may come down to something just as simple as you have overput. That's not what God wants you to do. If the Lord wants you to open a business, he wants you to be successful. Okay. There's no nobility in going down because you can't brand correctly, because you feel like your whole logo has to be the cross. That's not what we're doing, guys. Make sure that you're positioning your company to what the customer is looking for. If you're a missionary, then that needs to be your logo. But if you're pressure washing, it needs to be identifiable that that's what you're doing. If you're doing landscaping, okay, don't name your landscape company like I wouldn't name it like the Lord Christ is coming again landscaping. Like, because I wouldn't hire that guy. I wouldn't hire him. Be like, I'll see you in heaven, dog. Don't you? You're probably weird, right? You're probably a little bit weird.
And Cody, to kind of touch on what we talked about earlier, it reeks of an attempt to try to connect on a level that's not relevant. It's the same energy as the crackhead coming up. Like,
it is,
hey man,
the same energy, but it's coming out in a different way. It's like, well, they'll buy from me because I'm a Christian and they're a Christian. So, maybe, but you probably lost like $100,000 that year in poor positioning. Like, it's awful. I can't stand. It's a turnoff to me as a person who's at church like 35 times a month. It's a huge. We changed the inner circle call to Thursday night so that I could be on them, because on Wednesdays I'm doing the youth program at church. It's a huge turnoff to me. Now, once we do business together, if that comes up, I'll be like, yeah, dude, yeah, awesome. We connect on that level, right? But I'm not going to jump out and scream that, because it has nothing to do with what we're here to talk about. It's just a weird vibe. Like, I don't dig that at all. So be careful with the way that you structure yourself in your company. This is, if you're doing this as a hobby, do whatever. But if you're trying to do this for real and you're listening to what we're telling you to be successful, to make it, you need to do all the things. Okay. Don't skip out on any of this stuff, because it just feels snake oily. It just does. If you're truly about that life, it'll come out anyway. Exactly. Jesus is not meant to be used as a means of selling or profiting. So just be careful with that stuff, guys. Like, here's what I do. I strategically show my boys on camera at the shop working, but it's not all the time. I don't want people buying because, like, oh, there's a wholesome, we're not Little House on the Prairie. It's not what we're selling. All right. We're selling the best equipment on the planet for what we do. That's what we're selling. Yeah, I'm fine with you knowing that I like these other things, and it's a thing, and I got the boys and they'll come help out the shop. But that's not the tip of the spear for the marketing. That's just a tertiary thing that you might come across back here, way down in the funnel somewhere, where you've already decided to be a customer. And that's what Aaron was talking about earlier. Is if it's good marketing, it's seamless, and you don't feel it. And then maybe year 2, you realize, oh, I didn't know that about that company. That's cool. I like them even more now, right?
Right. Man, you don't use it as the focal point for selling your business, though. That's
I think that resonates so heavily with you, me, Cody, because we kind of grew up in that land where that's highlighted so much. And we've also seen like the downfall of that, right? Where I'm not going to jump into it, but it's they walk out on faith with no works, and they perish. and it's almost like they want to hang it up to where, what, man, if God and Jesus want this to happen, it's going to happen for me. Dude. And it's like, no, I love the story of the talents, where it's just like, hey, boy, dude, I'm going to take them from you because you buried it. Cause that, you know what that meant? And then we could jump to another topic, but why don't you tell it, Aaron? Why don't you tell the story of the talents real quick? Do you remember? Well, the story of the talents hit me harder than most anything in the Bible, because I felt that Baptist guilt for wanting to make money. Okay. Like a lot of people feel that way. And I don't know where it comes from. I think it just comes from the impoverished place you grew up in, to where people just default all of their movement to God, and every movement, from the bills being paid to the car note, everything. They're like, if God wants it to happen, it's going to happen.
It gets the responsibility off of you, and it puts it back on God, which is not what Christianity is about. Christianity is about taking responsibility, not throwing it back off on something. It's a scapegoat. That's not right. Absolutely.
And so for me growing up, I had that Baptist guilt part of me, and I was wondering why. But the story of the talents is my favorite verse in the Bible, or verses, is where Jesus gave 3 men. Now, Cody's a theologian. He could recite this better than me, but he gave 3 men a different amount of talents. The first guy had 1, the second guy had 2, and the third guy had 3. And the first guy took his talent. Now, it's odd that it was named talents, right? Which was really hit me hard with that. Your talents, your gifts, right? That God has given you. He buried it in the ground, did nothing with it, went and prayed about it, right? Prayed and hoped that he hoped it would double. The second guy, he actually, I believe, doubled it, Cody, right? He doubled it to 4.
There was there's 2 different, I'm trying to remember, there's one in Luke and one in Matthew. So it's parable, and I don't think this one's in all 4 Gospels, but in the most common reading, one guy got 5, he doubled it to 10. One guy got 3, and one guy got 1. But the 2 that got the others, they doubled it. The other guy buried it.
And so what did he do in the final story? The guy who buried it
He comes
right?
back, right? The master comes back, and this is I can quote the verse. He says, pretty much, he says, the guy comes up that had doubled the most amount. He doubled it, invested it, and doubled it. And he said, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Next guy comes up, he had doubled it. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. The last guy that buried it, he says, thou knewest I was an austere man, reaping where I had not sown. I can't finish the verse, but basically he told him, you knew what I was going to expect of you when I came back. And he said, well, I was afraid to lose it, so I buried it that way I wouldn't lose anything. He said that you should have known that I would require my own with usury when I came back. So the point of the parable is that God gives us all talents, and the responsibility is totally on us. The master was gone, dude. He was not working like the Wizard of Oz behind the scenes, pulling all the strings. And that's what guys want to do, is they want to throw that responsibility back on something else. I don't even think those people are truly Christian, truly saved, born again at all, because that's not the way that the Lord works for me. He gives me a checklist to do. And if I don't do them, there's going to be a thing called a bema seat judgment of Christ that I'm going to stand at and have to answer for everything I did, not for salvation, but for works. Did I do them for the right reason? And most of it's going to be burned up. Gold, silver, precious stone, wood, hay, and stubble. The parable of the talents is a extremely good business application. I'm looking on my phone. It's in Matthew 25, but it's in a couple of different of the Gospels. Tremendous message there for business owners. It's on you.
I took that as my duty.
If you don't do it, you can't blame anybody. That's what the dude tried to do. Same thing Adam tried to do in the garden. Eve, snake, something but me. No, dog, it's on you. It's on us as men. I guarantee you, everybody watching this right here is a man. Okay, we may have one or two ladies, but 99% of our audience is guys. It's on you if you're going to do this and make it work. Stop putting it off on, well, it just ain't meant. No, you're just not. You're either not putting in the work, you're not doing your project pages, you're not doing the marketing like you're supposed to, or you're just simply not answering the phone. But there's a reason why it's not working. Very seldom is the reason why it is just you just couldn't make it work. It's that you're just not making it work.
Right. I want to segue us into another example real quick, and then we can probably wrap from there. But this is a really good example, and maybe we can draw some parallels between what we've kind of been talking tonight with regards to charging more than your competition. And it is the people who are selling land in Scotland. You can buy a plot of land, or not even a plot. I think it's like a inch by an inch or something. And you can become a lord, essentially. And I think this has been debunked as false. It's not real, but I guarantee they still sell some. Like, imagine, you got to be pretty ballsy to sell something that doesn't even exist. So, Aaron, do we want to try to draw some parallels? Cody, did you buy one?
No, Preston, one of my young narfs, the young narf of the realm, purchased this for Christmas, which I thought was really cool. So I am a lord. I am Lord Yarbrough, and this is the dude. He got me on it too, dude. It was pretty funny. Let me read you what because he told him what to say. Congratulations, Lord Cody Yarbrough, blah, 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 blah. There's your plot. It's got a map. According to this, I am the top G of the soft washing industry. So y'all can read that and weep, baby. I am the Lord.
But essentially, like a company, right, sold you a packet of papers that says now that you are a lord in Scotland, and it was like $50, I think. I think that's what it's cost to do that. All it is a packet of paper, right, Cody?
Yeah, it's $100. And he, they got him on the upsell too, dog. They got him on the upsell.
Oh,
So he got
what's the upsell?
The upsell is my crest. They got a designed crest here.
That's pretty slick, dude.
Got him on that upsell. So unfortunately, Preston is wired like his daddy. He's going to get whatever they offer. So he's going to have to make a lot of money in his lifetime because he is a spender. He's definitely a spender.
But essentially, like, if we draw parallels, right, they found their target audience, which in this case was Preston, but it's people, that want to have stake in property, across the world, and they want to have respect, right, of being a lord.
Humor, right? Humor, respect, money, all those things.
You were talking about the timing earlier. They pitched this real heavy around the holidays because it's a cool gift for people that's hard to buy stuff for. It's like, hey, I got you that, and it's a great gift.
Right. The packaging is very well put together. You know, you would think from this page, you know, you got reviews here. It's nice fonts. You got the background, like you can almost see where your plot is going to be in Scotland. It's very well put together. You can see the packet of information that you're going to get. So
Cocktail
the positioning.
story. That's what
Wait,
it is. It's a cocktail story. It's the intangible, the personal, and the unique. Right.
There we go. Explain, go
where I would pay the guy $100 just to design that crest. Show that thing again, Cody. Like I would pay that guy. That's a badass design, dude. That is the Yarborough crest.
Well, he paid the upsell for the accent as well. All right. So
all right. So that's the intangible, that's the personal, that's the unique. You can't get it anywhere else. It's very unique to Yarborough, right? Okay, so that's the unique. The intangible is the cool factor, right? The personal is that it's actually yours, right? So how do we, you know, cultivate that and put it into our business and cultivate the pitch around exactly what they're talking about? I'm not going to go too far into that because that gets into some NLP stuff, but it's like reverse engineering what they're saying to you and regurgitating it back. And look, that guy selling that gave Cody exactly what he wanted in the fact that Cody brought it up. Cody brought up the cool factor of the little crest thing. It's a cocktail store. You know, what's funny is that you'll be at like church or whatever. You'll be like, man, Preston got me this little thing, dude. It's like I'm a lord in Scotland now.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, you dang right you are. All right, give me a bratwurst. You know what I mean? Like it's the dudes hanging out. They like to talk about that stuff. There's a lot of guys who would buy house washing because I had a guy come by to my house this past week, man, as he's standing next to the G-Wagon. And he's saying, yeah, he did it. He wasn't too bad either. $1,500 to clean the house.
Yep.
He goes, he wasn't bad at all.
It's totally that, dude. It's like I have a guy. He bought several pieces of equipment from us. I think he's bought 3 rigs, and he lives in a really high clientele area in Florida. And I thought this was a great little tactic. He uses a similar little double fold thing like this, and they're just blank. They're colored, but they're blank. And when he gives a quote to one of these, you know, these are $2, $3, $4 million homes. He goes home, he sends it to him in email, but he also gives them a little packet with a picture of their house, the quotes broke down, the Google image, right? He does the whole thing, and he's got photos in there, and he's got it line item on like nice paper, and they're like, oh wow, that's the quote. You know, it's on that. It's like, okay, I can put that. You know where that's going to go? On the kitchen counter, and they're going to look at it 3 or 4 times, and then it's like a $2,800 house wash or whatever it is. But it's just, he's probably got what, a couple dollars in that. But that versus a dude in the yard with a cigarette, like, yeah, we can clean it for $1,200. You see the difference there? It's just the way that guy feels that it's the same info. It's probably the same result, but the packaging makes a lot of difference. How you throw that stuff away. Yeah. How does the whole thing feel? Does it feel right? Because if it don't feel right, it's just not going to get those higher end clients. It's just not, it don't feel right.
Dude, I had an app years ago that I would take a photo of someone's house and I could send them a postcard with the photo of their house on it, right? And I would go take a picture of these giant houses, and I landed a few jobs. I wasn't super consistent with it because I'm a Google guy. I don't like anything really involving sweat or work when it comes to marketing. So I took a photo of this giant mansion. Okay, just stupid. I had to put my hands through the gate to get my camera to where I wouldn't take a photo of this giant gate. Well, I sent whoever this postcard saying roof cleaning, house washing, and it had their house on the front. Now, this is the beautiful part about it, is that I got a reaction. I didn't get necessarily what I wanted, but I got a reaction. This guy calls me. Yeah, I need to talk to somebody. So he sounded like Grant Cardone. Hey, man, I need to talk to the main guy. Who's main guy? We got an issue. And he's like, somebody came by my house and sent me a photo of my house. And I was like, I can't imagine who that would be. Let me talk to the guys about that. And I was like, but I got a reaction. And what you're saying is that people see that. They notice that. You'll never throw that away. A, because it's a gift. B, because it's cool. And C, because you're top G in a Lord, right? That guy's never going to throw away that packet. That literal pressure washing estimate packet that has all the photos of their house. They're never going to throw it away. It's too well done. You see, they're never going to, and it's in a folder. It looks like it's laminated, dude. You see what I mean? That type of personal touch is making it to where you sit at the top of the stack when it comes to consideration on the bid.
Right. So if we were to surmise everything, in order to charge at the top 10% pricing, you must become a top 10% company. I think that can surmise it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of, studying and things and positioning and massaging with regards to offers and things like that needs to be done in order to get to that kind of position. But you can't middle of the road this kind of stuff. You can't, weekend warrior your way to super high ticket pricing. So
at least on visuals and personality. Yeah. Like you can't half that stuff. The visuals need to look amazing. The website needs to look amazing. Your ads need to look amazing. When you show up, you need to do the best that you can, okay, to give the best presentation. But the magic comes from talking, high ticket pricing comes from walking with certainty and wearing the lab coat. That's what it comes from. Okay. I'm not going to dive into that because we're at the back end of this video, but that's what high ticket pricing comes from, to where you almost subconsciously make the customer feel that they would be stupid to go with anyone else.
Yep.
At this point, now, if you've got other people vouching for you, you can talk less. Okay. The more people that vouch on your behalf, the less you have to talk. Simple. All right. If you got a whole crowd of people who walk around and do estimates with you, say you got like 20 little old ladies who you've cleaned for, and you just hire them as an entourage. And they're like, he's amazing. He's amazing. And they just stand behind you. This is all fictional shit, but go with me here. They're standing back there off on the driveway, and you're on the steps, and you're like, hey, I would like to give you an estimate on washing your house. Shit, he is amazing. You should buy it. And she's like, how the heck did he get these old ladies? Well, walk around. It'd be the weirdest thing ever. But if you had an entourage of little old ladies vouching for you as being trustworthy, that person wouldn't even think twice. They'd be like, well, this is weird, but sure. Yeah, dude, if you're the best, then where this crowd came from, I don't know, but go ahead and give me an estimate. People can't run from the reviews, and the more people you have vouching for you, the less you have to talk and sell your service, as long as you're walking certainly in your pitch.
Yep. I would encourage you guys to get certain early on and get that confidence. Don't feel like you've got to grow into that. I was confident. I had the same spiel when I was building equipment out there in that driveway, that now we're in probably the cleanest shop in the business. Have guys coming out, man, this shop is great, dude. You dang right it is. But that was a goal to get to. We're always doing more, but I got the confidence way back there. You don't flex into that. Just to go ahead and establish it. As long as you know what you're doing, make sure you're not going to go out there and mess anything up, but go ahead and just be the guy. Just go ahead and knight yourself to be the guy, because there's nobody else is going to do it. You are the one. So take the responsibility, go forth and conquer, man. Ain't nobody going to do it for you.
Take therefore the talent from him and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. It's a use it or lose it type scenario.
Put him under the bridge, boy.
That's right.
Read that verse. Read that verse. He put that boy under the bridge. Jesus did. Jesus put that man under the bridge. That was his last piece of money. That was it. You know what that means? Now you ain't got no talent. I don't know what you're going to eat. And I don't really care, because you didn't do anything with it. See, that's what a lot of people don't get. That's where I want to shake you, is that you think there's a boat coming if you don't make it. You think there's a boat, there's a STEMI check coming. No, there is nothing coming, and it will be taken from you that which you do not use. Per that. That's motivated me more than anything I've read. That verse told me that, in my belief, I would have taken from me what I didn't use. And I hope this video, guys, I hope this can push you into going out and pricing above what you feel that you're worth, it's going to do great for you and for your family financially. Also, everyone else in the market is going to love it because it lifts all the boats. The tide does whenever everyone's pricing high. And you're going to be all around happier. You can work less. It's going to be a better day for your business. And you can invest more into marketing and not be so strapped for it.
Boom. Check out Washcon. Comment section, description. The word of the day on this one's going to be talents. If you've made this far in the video, comment down below talents and I'll hashtag you a real one. Only 24 days left. Get your tickets. Come hang out with us. If these lives are any indication of what Washcon's going to be like, it's going to be just incredible. So we'll see you guys soon. Until next time, hustle hard, get that money, baby.